Just take one moment here to adjust my screen. Okay, so for our practice today, you'll need your yoga mat, and it might be helpful to, as we work towards the end of our practice today, we're going to incorporate the use of a couple of tennis balls. So if you don't have that, you could also try, if you have right next to you like a couple of socks that you could kind of roll into a ball. It certainly won't be as firm as a tennis ball, so if you have a moment to go grab those or something of the like, that would be great. And if not, you can always do this at a later time too, that part of the practice, and just find some different stretches as we move into that portion. So our practice will begin with our opening meditation. So if you want to go ahead and find a nice comfortable position, closing your eyes, and then just starting to settle into your breath. You can place one hand on your belly and the other on your heart. This is just to become more physically aware of the sensations of the breath, the rise and fall of the breath. And if you prefer not to bring your hand to the heart and belly, you can also just bring your awareness and really focus your energy on that space of the body, feeling the body rise with the inhale and lowering with every exhale. So as we draw a breath in, we move in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's do that again, breathing in. Perhaps a slight pause at the top of the breath. And exhale. And then one more time, filling the lungs fully, holding, and then releasing. Let's allow the breath to begin to return to normal. And bring your attention to how your body feels right now. Perhaps noticing where the body is connected to your mat or to the earth beneath it. Just noticing the parts of your body that make contact. And then let's notice any places of tension. Imagining your breath going to these places. Allowing yourself to surrender, to find release. Beginning to feel completely at ease and calm. So we've taken some time to slow down the breath, to find more relax and ease within the body. Let's begin to take an internal journey. Imagine yourself standing on a sandy beach. Looking out, you see beautiful, calm ocean. Water as far as you can see. Gentle waves rolling in towards you. The smell of salt on the air. Maybe the birds calling playfully. You can look down and Feel your feet in the warm sand. And as you look around, you realize that you are all alone on this beach. And you're okay with this. Enjoying spending time by yourself on this beautiful day. The sun is warm, yet there's a gentle breeze blowing. You begin to notice a trail of shells, and you start to follow this trail, picking up the shells one at a time. And with each one that you pick up, you feel lighter, stronger, happy. And as you come to the end of this trail, you realize that you see something that looks or appears to be a hand mirror. And so you bend down to pick it up. And as you pick it up, you take a look at your reflection. And when you do, you realize it's a special mirror that sees you truthfully. It sees you as strong, intelligent, beautiful, capable to do anything you choose. And as you look at yourself, you allow these feelings of self-love to sink in. Feeling happy, content, inspired. When you're ready, you return the mirror to its place on the sandy beach, knowing that you can find it anytime you need. You slowly make your way back up the beach, listening to the waves rolling in, smelling the salt in the air, feeling happier, free, strong. Once you return back to where you began, we begin to refocus our energy on the space that we're in right now. Perhaps you begin to blink your eyes open, or perhaps taking a deeper breath. So from whatever position that you chose to begin your practice in, I'd like you to take some time, begin to find some gentle movement, and we'll begin our practice, our physical practice, in child's pose. So we'll spend several rounds of breath here in child's pose, so just take your time to settle in, allowing the hips to settle down and back. Let's take our hands and walk them over to the right. As you walk your hands over to the right, allow the head to settle down again, and then sit back into your left hip. And then we'll walk our hands over to the opposite side, over to the left. Sit down and back into the right hip a little deeper. And then let's come up to a tabletop position. So we'll come onto our hands and our knees. Just take a moment to readjust hips and shoulders. And then let's begin with some cat and cow breath. Finding movement, following the breath. So our practice will be generally focused on working through our side bodies. We'll be stretching and strengthening. And then coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to add this C and backwards C type shape. We're going to drop our left shoulder towards our left hip, and then right shoulder towards right hip. You can take a gaze over to the side as you do this as well. So you can either move just from right to left here, or you could add this in with some cat and cow breaths too. Maybe cat, cow, C, cat, cow, C, or something along those lines. So I really want you to engage the side bodies as you shift hips and shoulder from side to side. Core is strong, you're drawing the belly up and in. Let's maybe go ahead and do that one more time on either side. Coming back to a neutral tabletop position, let's extend our right leg back. On the exhale, draw the knee in towards the right arm, squeeze. Send the right leg back, left arm goes forward, spinal balance. Come back to your tabletop position, left leg back, drawing the knee in towards the left arm. So as you do this, rather than straight in, see if you can kind of take it outside of the body, activating the side body. Extend the left leg back, right arm forward, spinal balance. So we're going to repeat that on either side a couple more times. So right leg back, knee towards arm, taking it outside of the body, spinal balance. Back to tabletop. Left leg goes back. Take the knee out, squeeze. So the leg doesn't have to touch the arm, but if it does, that's okay too. Spinal balance. And back. So you're going to begin to find your own flow here at your own pace. And if you decide you want to just do spinal balance here and not add in the side body work, you can do that too. Let's come back to a tabletop position. Let's go ahead and sit back on the tops of our feet. We're going to take a tricep stretch. Let's turn to face the camera here. We're going to take our right arm up, right elbow pointing up towards the ceiling, and then use your left hand to gently guide the fingertips down the middle back. Let's take a little lean over to our left. So this is just real little, doesn't have to be a big lean. See if you can maintain the length in your spine. And then just go ahead and switch out the arms. Let's bring the left arm up, elbow pointing upwards. Use the right fingertips to maybe just add a little bit of pressure, and maybe you need no pressure at all. That's okay too. Take a little lean over to your right. And go ahead and release the arms, gate pose. Let's come upright on our knees. Extend your right leg out towards the right. Taking the left arm up and over, stretch nice and long, keeping your chest facing forward here. And then switch to the other side. And then we'll step our left leg to the top of the mat. Let's step up to forward fold. Let's hang out here for just a little bit. Maybe you want to take a ragdoll. Maybe you want to add a little swing motion. Maybe you want to be still. On the inhale breath, let's circle sweep our arms overhead. We're going to take our left leg and step it behind the right. Taking your left wrist in the right. Take a side body stretch over to your right. Leaning over to our right. Chest facing the front of your mat. On your next exhale breath, go ahead and drop the left shoulder in a little bit. This is going to change where this is stretching through the side body and into the back. And then go ahead and fold all the way forward. Keep the legs crossed here. Accept as much bend in your knees as you need here. Go ahead and uncross the legs, half lift on your inhale. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms overhead. And then let's take the right leg, step it behind the left. Side body stretch, so we'll take the right wrist in the left hand, lean over to your left. And then on your exhale breath, let's drop the right shoulder in a little bit. And then go ahead and fold all the way forward with the legs crossed. Uncross the legs, half lift on your inhale. Exhale and fold forward. Go ahead and plant the hands. Step back to plank. So this can be plank, kneeling plank, or forearm plank here. You choose what works best for your practice. And then we're going to add in some hip dips. So we're going to drop hips from right to left or left to right. You choose the pace. I want you to keep the core engaged here. And arms active as well. So we continue pressing the hands down into the mat. You should feel that active space in the armpits as if you're pressing the floor away from you. Make sure you're still breathing. Come back to neutral. Go ahead and set the knees down on the mat if they're not already, and lower to the chest and belly. We're going to draw the hands in nice and close for a few rolling cobras here. So hands are either maybe on the outside of the chest, or you can bring it back even a little farther on the outside of the ribs. So decide what works for you. We're going to lift up and lower down. Follow your breath. Let's do one more. And press back to downward facing dog. As we come to our downward dog, let's maybe pedal our feet a couple of times. Begin to settle into your down dog. And then let's step our right leg to the top of the mat. As we come to our right leg to the top of the mat, we're going to move into a side plank variation. So we're going to keep our left hand down and turn all 10 toes over to your right. So you're on the pinky toe side of your left foot. And again, your right toe is pointing up to the right side. We're going to lower our hips down, reach our fingertips towards the back of the mat. As you inhale, lift the hips up and sweep your arms towards the top of the mat. Lower the hips down, reach, lift, reach. So we're going to do this a few more times. Find the flow of your breath. Next time you lift the arms towards the top of the mat, go ahead and turn to face forward in lunge. Step up to forward fold. As you inhale, circle, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale and fold forward. Stepping back to plank. Let's finish through a vinyasa here. Stepping the left leg forward into lunge. So we'll move into that side plank variation, other side. So we're going to turn all of our toes over to the left. So the left leg is forward, right leg, you are on the pinky toe side of the foot. Let's go ahead and lower the hips down, reach towards the back of the mat. Lift the hips up. You're making like this rainbow shape as you lift the hips. Lower and lift. 3 more times. Or something like that. So the next time we lift our hips, we're going to turn to lunge facing forward. Step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Vinyasa. As you come to your downward facing dog, you can allow this to be your holding position. Maybe a child's pose if you are in need of a bit more rest here. And if you need more work, take another 2 vinyasas. Wherever you're at, breathe. So our meeting place will be downward facing dog. On your next inhale breath, let's lift our heels up into the air. And then as you exhale, allow the heels to sink down towards the earth. We're going to bend into our knees and then shift your hips over to the right. On the exhale breath, draw your right knee in towards the right arm. Squeeze and hold, so we're still shifting your hips over to the right here. Go ahead and set the knee down. Kneeling side plank, side body stretch. Stay right here or move to a regular kneeling side plank or step to side plank, keeping the fingertips reaching towards the top of the mat. Optional to take the left knee and lift it up into the air. Everybody step your left leg to the top of the mat. Let's reach our arms overhead. High lunge. And warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Low lunge twist. Bring your right hand all the way down to the mat. Left arm reaches up. Feel free to take your gaze up towards your fingertips or any place in between up, down, middle. Go ahead and set your right knee on the mat. Return to a side plank facing your left side. Reach your fingertips towards the top of the mat. This left leg, you can keep the foot down or lift it into the air. On the exhale breath, elbow to knee, and then extend out. Elbow to knee, and reach. Let's do that 3 more times. Next time you draw elbow to knee, step the left leg to the top of the mat. Go ahead and place the left hand down as we move into side angle. So left forearm comes to the thigh, and you find the chest rotating towards your right. Nice long reach. Back to warrior two. Straightening out the legs, triangle pose. In your triangle, as an option, you can take both arms and reach towards the top of the mat. Keep your chest turning towards the right. And then lower both hands down to the mat. Three-legged dog, take your left leg high. As you exhale, knee to left arm. Three-legged dog. Knee to right arm. And downward facing dog. Flow through a vinyasa. Let's take a couple of breaths in our downward dog. On the inhale breath, let's lift our heels into the air. On the exhale, let the heels sink down. Bending into your knees, shift your hips over to the left. So keep the hips shifting left, and then draw the left knee in towards the left arm. Go ahead and set the left knee down. Kneeling side plank with side body stretch. Stay right here. Move to side plank or both legs extended side plank. Option to lift the right knee into the air. And then everyone step the right leg to the top of the mat. High lunge. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. And low lunge twist. Bring the left hand down to the mat, right arm reaches up. And then we'll set our left knee down on the mat to move into side plank. As you move into your side plank, let's reach our fingertips towards the top of the mat. Right fingertips. Right leg can stay down, or you can lift it into the air. On the exhale, elbow to knee. Reach. Bring it in. Let's do that 3 more times with your breath. Next time you draw a knee in, we're going to step to the top of the mat for lunge. And then side angle, right forearm to the right thigh. If you want to move deeper, you can reach fingertips towards the ground or a block. Finding the chest rotating to your left. Warrior two. Straighten out the legs, triangle. In your triangle pose, stay exactly as you are. As an option, maybe taking both arms, reaching to the top of the mat. You want to find the chest still rotating to your left. And then lowering your hands down to the mat, low lunge. Three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, knee to right arm. Three-legged dog. And then knee across the body. Downward dog. Vinyasa. Once again, let's take some rounds of breath. If you decide you want to move to rest, feel free to move to child's pose. We're going to try that flow in a more fluid motion. One breath, one movement. So if you are looking for more work, let's begin to lift our heels into the air on the inhale. Exhale, lower the heels down. Bending into the knees, shift the hips to your right. Draw the right knee in towards the right arm. Set the right knee down, kneeling side plank, side body stretch. Finding your side plank variation. Lifting the knee up into the air, right, left knee into the air, and step to the top of the mat, lunge. High lunge. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Low lunge twist, left arm reaches up. Kneeling side plank, reach your fingertips towards the top of the mat, knee to elbow. Two more times. As you draw the knee in, step to the top of the mat for lunge. Side angle pose, left forearm to left thigh. Warrior two. Triangle. Reach both arms to the top of the mat. Low lunge. Three-legged dog, take left leg high. Left knee to left arm. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right arm. Downward dog. Vinyasa. We're going to lift our heels into the air. Breathe in. Exhale, heels down. Bend into your knees. Shift the hips left. Draw left knee to left arm. Kneeling side plank, side body stretch. Side plank. Lifting right knee into the air and step to the top of the mat. High lunge. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Low lunge twist. Right arm reaches up. Kneeling side plank. Elbow to knee. Two more. As you draw the knee in, let's step to the top of the mat. Side angle, right forearm to right thigh. Warrior two. Triangle. Reaching both arms forward. Low lunge. Three-legged dog. Bringing the knee into the right arm. Three-legged dog. Take the knee across the body. Downward dog. Vinyasa. As you feel ready, find a resting position of choice. Maybe child's pose, maybe seated. Sometimes it feels good to keep your chest more lifted as you move into a resting position, particularly when you've built up quite a bit of heat. Taking a few rounds of breath just to begin to slow the breath down. So we're going to start to move down onto the floor, and we'll use our tennis balls. So, like I said, if you don't have those, you could try out a couple of balled up socks, or I'm not sure what else will work in place of this. Maybe some, if your kids have some balls or something that you could, I don't know. You can try that out. Anyway, these work the best. You can also use like lacrosse balls, but those get to be a little bit hard to work with too. And if you just have one tennis ball, that's fine. We're going to place this, we're going to do one side and then the other. So we're just kind of working down the side of the body here to loosen up any tight muscles and kind of work a little deeper into the muscles. So the first one you're going to place below the armpit, and then here on the side body, we're going to lay on our sides. We'll be laying on our left side. You're going to use your arm to support you. And then you're going to lay the bottom one at the low ribs or the side ribs. And then this one kind of below the armpit. So sometimes it takes a little bit of work to find a place that feels comfortable. And you can decide how much pressure you want to allow to lay on top of these. So you can use this right arm to kind of lift the body if it feels like too much pressure. And another option here would be to place like a gentle blanket over top of the tennis balls. That could take off some of the pressure as well, if it felt too intense. So I want you just to take a couple more breaths here. And again, if you just have one, that works just fine here too. And then we're going to lift away from the tennis balls. You can go ahead and scoot one off to the side, and then we're going to take this next one. We're going to lay down on top of it. I'm just going to turn around so I can show you where I want you to place it. So this is the low back region. I want you to place it halfway between the side body and the spine. So somewhere right about here. And you can, of course, move it around as you find the sweet spot. So go ahead and lay down. I like to take my feet into a butterfly position, so that the left knee is pointed out towards the left side, and then the right knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. And as you come into a position that feels comfortable, you feel like you're working a little deeper into the muscle here, you can always find more movement, and you can also be still. So it's always a personal preference for your own practice. Just kind of roll over to your right side to scoot a tennis ball out from underneath of you, and then we're going to work into the gluteus medius. So that is this side butt muscle here. So we're going to place it right outside of the left hip, and then we're going to roll over on top of it. So I want your left leg to go long, the right knee will be bent, and then you can just kind of lay over here on your side. If you want to prop up the head with your arm, you can do that here too. And like I said, if you want to go ahead and play around with movement to find a good place that feels like you're working deeper into a muscle that you need to, go ahead and take that movement. So you can go ahead and roll over onto the other side. So take your tennis balls with you. And we're gonna place them, we're gonna prop ourselves up on the right arm, and then you're gonna take this right underneath of the armpit, and then this will go beneath the other ball, and that will be sort of at the low rib, side rib area. So I was just thinking, I had mentioned you could place a blanket over top of these tennis balls, but another option would be you could almost just place these right underneath of your yoga mat, and that would be a little extra cushioning between you and the tennis balls. And so we're gonna go ahead and scoot off of those. You can set one off to the side, and then we're gonna work into the low back area. So again, between the side body and the spine, you're gonna find a place somewhere right in here. And as we lay down on top of the tennis ball, perhaps finding your butterfly feet, left knee will point upwards, right knee goes out towards the right side. And then we'll just roll over to our left to release the tennis ball, and then moving into the right gluteus medius. So we're gonna roll over onto our side, placing the tennis ball outside of the right hip. You're gonna let the right leg go long, and then left leg can be bent here. And of course, if you find a different position for your legs that feel better, or any part of your body, feel free to move into that space as well. I know that some people do find tennis balls to be kind of intense as far as the pressure, because they are firm. So just try it out, and if it doesn't work for you, that's okay too. There may be certain areas of the body that a tennis ball does work. That's a great release for under the feet as well. Some of these side body regions can be somewhat sensitive. So again, if you're feeling pain and this is building up some anxiety and tension for you because of the too intense pressure, you'll be finding just a different side body stretch here. Let's just take another breath here. And then go ahead and roll off of the tennis ball. We're gonna walk the feet in nice and close to our hips. Lift up into a bridge pose and reach both arms overhead. Gently pressing down into all four corners of the feet. Lifting the hips upward and gently squeezing knees inward towards one another. Breathe. And then softly we'll let our hips come back down to the mat. Let's extend both legs out long. And then we'll walk both of our feet over to the right. And same with the arms, rocking both arms over to the right. Now, if you'd like to cross the left leg over the right and maybe grab hold of the left wrist, you can do that here too. And let's stretch out the other side, walking the feet and arms over to the left. And again, if you'd like to cross your right leg over to the left. Now to walk ourselves back to the center. And then we're going to settle into Shavasana. So we'll take maybe 4 or so minutes here in our final relaxation. Just finding some stillness, quiet breath. Just go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. You need more time for your relaxation today. Please feel free to take as much time as you need. We'll close our practice in a seated position, so just take another few moments to make your way there. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste.